Alright, got it yet?
Mhm.
Black don't crack or give back. Why is that? So today I'm here to deliver a speech that when I was thinking about the title, I wanted to make the listener and the viewer think. And when I say black don't crack or give back, why is that? What I'm talking about is HBCUs. Now, some of you may be wondering what an HBCU is. This is a historically black college or university. And today I want to talk about the significance and struggles of HBCUs. There are over 100 historically black colleges and universities in the United States of America, and on a yearly basis, they educate 300,000 black students. That's 1 out of 10 black Americans. So we're talking about significance. 3%, though HBCUs make up for 3% of the country's institution, they make up for 80% of black judges, 50% of black lawyers and doctors, and 25% of engineering, black science, technology, and math graduates. And that statistic is by way of parents.com. So we're talking about significance. That's major. That's 3% of the country's institutions, but 80% of black judges, 50% doctors and lawyers, 25% technology, engineering, black science. So we're talking about significance and impact of HBCUs when we talk about that. And one of the things that I thought would make this an important subject is the attention that's been brought to HBCUs lately due to athletics. One of the examples of this could be seen with Jackson State University and a lot of the attention that they received with Coach Prime and everything they had going on with their football program. And a common theme that you're going to see throughout this speech is about giving back and how that plays a role in importance in everything that we're going to talk about in this speech. So in that case, there was a spike in attendance and also funds generated by the school, but the attention brought to the question of why are the facilities and things the way they are, and the disparity between that historically black college and, say, a Power 5 institution. And a lot of this comes with having the right people in place to ask the right questions. This could go down from the state level on up. So being able to basically have the right people in place is gonna lead to us being able to have change. And that's something that we can try to control and do a better job of ourselves. But when we're talking about some of the problems and struggles that HBCUs face, we're going to start with funding. And Forbes.com said that compared to their predominantly white counterparts, historically black colleges have been underfunded $12.8 billion over the last 3 decades. More specifically, the Tennessee State University had been underfunded over those same 33 years, 1.9 billion less than the University of Tennessee if we're talking a per student basis. So that's just breaking down the disparity. We're talking about it like that. Now funding, that same thing that I said about having the right people in place, there were 3 public HBCUs in the state of Mississippi that won a settlement of $500 million with they took the state to court and won a settlement of $500 million in 2002. So that came with having the right people in place and basically questioning about the funding to do right by these institutions and by these children. So that came back to that point. But another thing with funding, it goes down to something that we call, or we're going to talk about how funds are dispersed alongside of that. So there's something called performance-based funding. Performance-based funding is it's like the students, the schools that have had the advantage of the financial advantage from the underfunding over these years. They've been able to have better facilities, which attracts better students, which attracts better performance. So you have an advantage that you see the HBCUs have to deal with because of that disparity over those years that they're having to deal with now. But the way the performance trickles down is that these schools have students that perform better, so they're able to continue to get the funding for performance. And also because they're performing better in programs that pay higher, they're able to do something else that we talked about before, which is give back. But we're going to get to that point a little bit more down the line. So with that being said, that can kind of explain why a historically black college can have worse facilities than some schools, some high schools, because we're talking about how that performance-based funding can go when you're already playing from behind the eight ball. Um, so we talked about funding, we talked about performance-based funding, and how some of those disparities are. And the last thing that we're going to get into is endowment, which is basically donations and money given back. So historically black colleges have one of the worst endowment rates amongst universities. And this comes back to the title of when we said black don't crack or give back. Why is that? So it's not a shot at black people or a shot at the country or state for the disparity in the funds, but more so just to talk about both sides and what can be done. And with the endowment rate, one of the examples of the disparity and just the difference in it is, I believe in 2020, 18 land grant-based universities. I need to get that specific stat. I don't want to misquote that number, and I'm allowed to do that for the number. So in 2020, the average endowment for 18 land grant schools was 1.9 billion, while at HBCUs it was only 34 million. So I had to get those specific numbers. And to get even more specific than that, only 11.2% of historically black college graduates give back to the school after they graduate. So it keeps coming back to giving back and how important that is. So today, we talked briefly about some of the proud history but struggles that historically black colleges face. And I wanted to bring light to that because of the attention that was brought to the schools lately due to athletics and just the role it's played in the community, me coming from the South and coming from a mother that was a graduate of a historically black college. So with that being said, I think that more awareness through things like this, speeches, talks, can be brought to the subject and change can be made. And we're already seeing it happen in small little ways that we may not think are significant or play a big role. Like we saw the role that Coach Prime played at Jackson State. We see things happening like NFL head coaches. Hugh Jackson comes to coach at Grambling State, which, that's a rival of Southern, and we don't want to show them too much love, but to see something like that happen, that hasn't happened before. These are examples of giving back. We just saw recently Ed Reed, a Hall of Fame NFL player, decide to go coach at Bethune-Cookman. So along with that, we have celebrities like Charlamagne Tha God, who's a well-known radio host who has given thousands on thousands of dollars to his HBCU that he graduated from in South Carolina. More of giving back, more of higher performance, and all of these things are what's going to lead to the change. And we're seeing it slowly. I think like in recent history, we saw another athlete that was like a highly rated high school basketball player decide to take his talents to an HBCU. So the same thing that started these universities, which was giving back by free black Americans to give an opportunity where none existed, it's the same thing that is going to help us be able to make these universities have an opportunity to survive. So more of the people that are in position giving back, more of the people that are attending these universities performing at a level that can help these universities thrive and get the type of funding and assistance that they need to be able to keep things going. Thank you.